But you come my dad. Come on, Dad, it's time to do another video.
Yeah.
It's time to do another video.
Later. I don't feel good still.
Well, what's up, guys? Dad's got COVID. Does not feel good. He's laying down. But we gotta keep these videos going. So, go get that camera, Gigi. Yeah, gotta go put it somewhere like right here. Right here.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to Trading with a Dummy. I'm Nathaniel. I'm Gigi. My dad caught COVID from me, but we have to keep the show moving because we need to get to 1,000 subscribers. Today we are going to get real. We are going to talk about financial literacy for sale versus free financial literacy and...
What's up, everyone? I'm Mark, Trading with a Dummy. Of course, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do that. So I would be a lie if I sat here and said that the financial literacy education space isn't currently a racket. Hell, look at what I'm doing. I'm following the trend. 2020 and the pandemic changed the game of financial literacy. People literally woke up that the 9 to 5 is not cutting it anymore, and that there's more to life than to wake up, work, sleep, rinse, and repeat. So people began to think about the value of their time and their future. And because of this, a ton of financial literacy groups, courses, podcasts, and channels came out of nowhere. Hence, like this channel. The increase in interest in this space, it has become a form of a commodity. And when you have a commodity that people want and can capitalize on, and of course profit from, it's gonna take off. But the thing is, should you capitalize on it? There has been a division within this space. The free financial literacy community versus the paid financial literacy community. Is the premium service better than the free service? Do you get more value from the paid service versus the free service? Hell, should you take your last $1,000 that you have left and spend it on a program to get that knowledge?
Guys sitting there right now watching this, and I got my last grand, dude, and I got Christmas coming. Should you spend it on this?
Absolutely.
I would tell you the same thing.
I'll tell you.
Well, according to these two, you should. But should you? So that's what we're gonna discuss today. But first, let's go outside in the back porch. I need to sweat this vid out, get some vitamin D in my body, get some sunlight, and get some fresh air. So let's join me over there. So let's have this discussion, because if it's on my mind, I bet you it's probably on your mind as well. You have groups that I've seen and been a part of that cost free $99 all the way to about $10,000 a year. And the truth is, there are some fundamental differences between all of them. Let's start off with the free services. Now, I've heard the argument that if it's free, people are not going to value it and they will undervalue the education and knowledge that is presented to them. But if you pay or have a premium price associated with it, they are more likely to value the information and make an effort to actually execute on their information gained. And that is 100% actually true. There have been numerous studies presented that factually back that statement, and I've seen it firsthand. When I was in college, I had to pay for school. But the people who had free ride through scholarships were having a great time. The time of their life. I'm talking about partying, hanging out, barely showing up for class. But me, I showed up all the time because I wanted to get the value out of the money that I was paying. But here's the catch. It doesn't mean that the free content and information is less valuable. It's all on how you perceive it. So let's use the Come Up series for example. I'm not going to use them as an example because I'm an OG cousin, but simply because they're one of the few groups that I'm aware of that don't sell anything. It's a free community with two hosts who show up on YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday, and they teach something related to the stock market. The content and information is valuable, and I can tell that they put a lot of real effort into making sure that they build on what they're teaching week over week over week. They don't sell anything, so you don't really expect anything in return because it's free. But because it's free, you will face the following hurdles. 1, they technically have no obligation to you. You aren't paying for a service. You are just consuming free content, and it's up to you whether or not you execute on that information. 2, you won't have direct access to the person giving that information, and you won't have any direct guidance on what you need to do or how to do it outside of what you've seen on the videos. And you won't have any, I would say, real mentorship-like experience from the individuals because you're not paying for anything. And 3, you have zero control of what's going to be taught, and your questions may not be answered. And if some false information is presented, well, you really don't have anyone to hold accountable for except yourself. For example, I've seen a ton of videos on so-called successful futures traders who kill it trading the S&P 500 or the Forex. They will pull up their charts and they will show you how they kill it with their successful method proven to give you amazing results as a scalper. Well, come to find out, after losing a shit ton of money, they were trading off of a sim account and using the playback options to ensure that they have a successful trade that's 100% of the time successful. Splice it together and now you have a successful trader on YouTube. So, word of advice, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is too good to be true. However, what you do get with the free services is that you get free education at zero cost. It frees up the capital that you have to execute and to grow your account. And also typically with a lot of these free communities, you will see that there's some sort of community gathering of like-minded people, whether it's on Facebook, Telegram, or WhatsApp. So you have an opportunity to meet other people who will also possibly provide good information. But here's the thing. If you have a skill that you mastered through hours of studying the market or gained through paying for an education by someone else, or perhaps you have an edge in the market or a trading method that's unlike anyone else's that has worked for you for years, should you just hand it out for free or should you charge for it? And that's ultimately the dilemma. Your time is valuable. Your knowledge is valuable. And that's why on the flip side of things, you can't really knock the hustle. Your time is valuable. Everyone's time is valuable. But the thing is, how much time should you be valued at? What price do you associate your time with? Like I said before, I've been in groups where the creators literally dedicate 12 hours a day, 5 days a week, 240 hours a month for $15 a month, which equals to about 7 cents an hour. That is 100% ridiculously cheap. Then I've seen people who offer 3 hours a week, 12 hours a month, and charge $300 a month, which equals to about $25 an hour, which again is not bad. But when you start looking at the amount of members that some of these groups have, it's a killing, making anywhere from 6 figures a year to millions of dollars. If you are a creator of these groups or courses, do you really need to invest or trade yourself if you're making a killing selling financial literacy? That's where a red flag starts popping up compared to the free financial literacy path. Because it's free, you really have nothing to gain, but with the paid services, that's a whole nother thing. But with the paid services, you typically get the following. 1, you get direct access to the person who's teaching and running these courses, which gives you more of a direct mentorship-like level, which you don't get through the free versions. 2, you can ask questions and request additional help if needed. 3, of course, there's always a community that's involved with them as well, whether it's on Facebook, Telegram, WhatsApp, Twitter, whatever, that are like-minded people who can also add additional information. And 4, you can have expectations, and those should be addressed by the person who's selling you the courses, because in the end of the day, you are a customer. You're paying for a service, so therefore that person should also address any concerns you may have. So going back to the red flags though, there are a few things that you need to think about as well. The person who's teaching or running the course is possibly making more money off of you, the members, and selling courses than trading and investing themselves. So you need to be okay with knowing that that is actually a possibility. Another misconception is that the more the group or the course costs, the more value you get. I can tell you that from my own experience, that is not necessarily the case. There are a lot of lower end groups that actually offer more value than the really expensive groups or programs, which is very odd to me, because I would think that if I'm charging a premium price, I would also need to offer a premium product that outdoes any of the competition or the competitors in that space. But unfortunately, that's not always the case. So when you're thinking about joining any of these programs, you should ask yourself these things. Are you okay with paying for something that you can get for free? I say this because anything and everything that's presented in a lot of these courses and groups, you could get for free by Googling, going to the library, YouTubing, or by networking. What you're really paying for is a person's expertise of being in the game longer than you and for their guidance. That's really where the value comes into play. Look, I'm even planning on potentially putting a course together for beginners. And the first thing I would say is, all this information is readily available for free, and what you're paying for is my time I spent creating videos and repackaging the content for simplicity. Does that make sense? So when you pay for a course, you are paying for repackaged free material. When you are paying for a group, you are paying for the individual's time. If anyone is saying they have a 100% success rate, a 90% success rate, or even a 80% success rate, and that they're the greatest of all times, or whatever the pitch is, you should be able to ask questions such as, what is your P&L? This is important because if the person is making certain claims, I would want to see proof, because otherwise it's just another car salesman. And if you're paying for something, you need to know if the method really works, because otherwise you will lose money paying for that course or that membership, as well as losing money in the stock market. By the way, this happens a lot in those penny stock groups, so word of advice, stay away from those. You ultimately need to determine if the price that you are paying equals to the value you are getting. It's easier to pay for something that is $45 a month versus something that's $300 a month. Are you making money off of that knowledge that is greater than what you're paying per month? You have to seriously sit down with pen and paper and see if the value you are getting is worth your money. It is hot out here in Florida, but you know what? I need to get that vitamin D in there. So anyways, guys, I hope you got some sort of insight and perspective on today's conversation. And my question to you is, what do you think? What's your perspective and opinion on free versus paid? Comment below, and as always, subscribe, like, and share this video if you found any value in it. And of course, until next time, guys, I am Mark. You were hanging out in the backyard with Trading with a Dummy. Until next time, peace out.